Quick story. Parish, this is a story about a congregation, actually, that was during, right at the beginning of the U.S. involvement in World War II. And it happened in Chicago. And there was a congregation there, fairly conservative, you know, just small, in Chicago, kind of in the city, kind of Chicago. Now, during that time, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, many Japanese Americans, as we know, experienced a good deal of prejudice and discrimination. And one such group was a small community of Christians who were meeting in a storefront, kind of for their church. You know, they'd rented a storefront. And well, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, their contract ran out, or their lease ran out, or their lease was canceled, whatever, and they were evicted from their place to worship. So they went around to all the Christian communities in the area to get permission to use their place for worship. And they would say, you know, we don't need much space, we just need, and we'll come at a time that you're not using it, we just need a place to gather for prayer and for fellowship, you know, for support. Okay, all right. Nope, sorry. Oh, geez, no, we're busy place. All the rooms are used all the time. No, can't. No, you can't. Okay, so they're finally getting to really about the last chance, this fairly old, staid church in Chicago, and they're thinking, this is going to be a waste. But anyway, but they go, and they talk to the elders about their need, you know. We won't take up much space. We'll use it at a time you're not using it. We just want to use it for fellowship and prayer. Okay? And so the elders of the congregation hear their story and say, okay, you know, thank you very much, and we'll talk about it. And so they began to talk about it and back and forth a bit. And then the pastor said, well, listen, let's wait. We'll vote next week. Okay, let's everybody talk to people in the congregation. We'll vote next week. So next week comes, and they get there, and so there was a good deal of buzz in the congregation about it, kind of like, you know, what do you think? Blah, blah. And really, it was probably, you know, fairly heavy against. Okay, and so that was kind of the plan everybody had going in, was that they would just vote and say, geez, we'd love to, but we can't. We'd love to, really. So they get there, they're settling down, and there's a knock on the door. And it's this older woman who'd been teaching Sunday school in that parish, so that everybody on the parish group had her in Sunday school. Okay, long time. Okay, she knocks on the door and she asks if, you know, can I please come in and speak to you for just a moment? And so of course they have to say yes. Yes, please come in. So she says, you know, you're talking about something really important here today. In fact, it was so important that all the Sunday school teachers met yesterday to talk about this, last night, to talk and to pray about this. And I was sent from the Sunday school teachers to tell you that if you don't welcome these people in, then we can't teach Sunday school anymore. Because we cannot tell the children about the love of God and the Lordship of Jesus if we don't welcome the stranger. Well, I don't know what the conversation was like after this woman left, but they did. And that congregation then, for the next 50 years, 60 years, has been the place where the other is welcome. They were in the forefront of the civil rights movement. They've been one of the places where gay and lesbians have been finding refuge and a place to worship. Why? Because once you recognize the other, you can't not recognize them. You know what I mean? Once you see them everywhere. So once again, they began to see with hospitable eyes they couldn't not see anymore. And they were compelled by the gospel to welcome.